Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 4, Book 56, number 735. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, "My similitude in comparison with the other prophets before me is that of a man who has built a house nicely and beautifully, except for a place of one brick in a corner. The people go about it and wonder at its beauty, but say, would that this brick be put in its place? So I am that brick, and I am the last of the prophets." Volume 4, Book 56, number 736. Narrated by Aisha. The Prophet died when he was 63 years old. Volume 4, Book 56, number 737. Narrated by Anas. While the Prophet was in the market, a man called somebody, "O Abu el-Qasim." The Prophet turned to him and said, "Name yourselves after me, but do not call yourselves by my kunya." Volume 4, Book 56, number 738. Narrated by Jabir. The Prophet said, "Name yourselves after me, but do not call yourselves by my kunya." Volume 4, Book 56, number 739. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Abu el-Qasim said, "Name yourselves after me, but do not call yourselves by my kunya." Volume 4, Book 56, number 740. Narrated by Al-Ju'id bin Abdur Rahman. I saw as-Sa'ib bin Yazid when he was 94 years old, quite strong and of straight figure. He said, "I know that I enjoyed my hearing and seeing powers only because of the invocation of Allah's Apostle. My aunt took me to him and said, 'O Allah's Apostle, my nephew is sick. Will you invoke Allah for him?' So he invoked Allah for me." Volume 4, Book 56, number 741. Narrated by As-Skab bin Yazid. My aunt took me to Allah's Apostle and said, "O Allah's Apostle, my nephew is sick." The Prophet passed his hands over my head and blessed me. Then he performed ablution and I drank the remaining water, and standing behind him, I saw the seal in between his shoulders. Volume 4, Book 56, number 742. Narrated by Uqba bin al-Harith. Once, Abu Bakr offered the Asr prayer and then went out walking and saw Al-Hasan playing with the boys. He lifted him onto his shoulders and said, "Let my parents be sacrificed for your sake. You resemble the Prophet and not Ali," while Ali was smiling. Volume 4, Book 56, number 743. Narrated by Abu Juhayfa. I saw the Prophet, and Al-Hasan resembled him. Volume 4, Book 56, number 744. Narrated by Ismail bin Abi Khalid. I heard Abi Juhayfa saying, "I saw the Prophet, and Al-Hasan bin Ali resembled him." I said to Abu Juhayfa, "Describe him for me." He said, "He was white and his beard was black with some white hair. He promised to give us 13 young she-camels, but he expired before we could get them." Volume 4, Book 56, number 745. Narrated by Wahb Abu Juhayfa as-Sawai. I saw the Prophet and saw some white hair below his lower lip above the chin. Volume 4, Book 56, number 746. Narrated by Haraz bin Uthman. That he asked Abdullah bin Basar, i.e. the companion of the Prophet, "Did you see the Prophet when he was old?" He said, "He had a few white hairs between the lower lip and the chin." Volume 4, Book 56, number 747. Narrated by Rabia bin Abi Abdur Rahman. I heard Anas bin Malik describing the Prophet saying, "He was of medium height amongst the people, neither tall nor short. He had a rosy color, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. His hair was neither completely curly nor quite lank. Divine inspiration was revealed to him when he was 40 years old. He stayed 10 years in Mecca receiving the divine inspiration, and stayed in Medina for 10 more years. When he expired, he had scarcely 20 white hairs in his head and beard. Rabi'ah said, I saw some of his hairs and it was red. When I asked about that, I was told that it turned red because of scent. Volume 4, Book 56, number 748. Narrated by Anas. Allah's apostle was neither very tall nor short, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. His hair was neither curly nor lank. Allah sent him, as an apostle, when he was 40 years old. Afterwards he resided in Mecca for 10 years and in Medina for 10 more years. When Allah took him unto him, there was scarcely 20 white hairs in his head and beard. Volume 4, Book 56, number 749. Narrated by Al-Bara. Allah's apostle was the handsomest of all the people, and had the best appearance. He was neither very tall nor short. Volume 4, Book 56, number 750. Narrated by Qatada. I asked Anas, did the Prophet use to dye his hair? He said, no, for there were only a few white hairs on his temples. Volume 4, Book 56, number 751. Narrated by Al-Bara. The Prophet was of moderate height, having broad shoulders, long hair reaching his earlobes. Once I saw him in a red cloak and I had never seen a more handsome than him. Volume 4, Book 56, number 752. Narrated by Abu Ishaq. Al-Bara was asked, was the face of the Prophet as bright as a sword? He said, no, but as bright as a moon. Volume 4, Book 56, number 753. Narrated by Abu Juhayfa. Once Allah's apostle went to Al-Batha at noon, performed the ablution and offered a 2-rakat Zuhr prayer and a 2-rakat Asr prayer while a spear-headed stick was planted before him and the passers-by were passing in front of it. After the prayer, the people got up and held the hands of the Prophet and passed them on their faces. I also took his hand and kept it on my face and noticed that it was colder than ice, and its smell was nicer than musk. Volume 4, Book 56, number 754. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet was the most generous of all the people, and he used to become more generous in Ramadan when Gabriel met him. Gabriel used to meet him every night during Ramadan to revise the Quran with him. Allah's apostle then used to be more generous than the fast wind. Volume 4, Book 56, number 755. Narrated by Aisha. That Allah's apostle came to her in a happy mood with his features glittering with joy, and said, have you not heard what the Caliph has said about Zayd and Usama? He saw their feet and remarked, these belong to each other, i.e., they are father and son. Volume 4, Book 56, number 756. Narrated by Abdullah bin Kabi. I heard Kabib bin Malik talking after his failure to join the Ghazwa of Tabuk. He said, when I greeted Allah's apostle whose face was glittering with happiness, for whenever Allah's apostle was happy, his face used to glitter, as if it was a piece of the moon, and we used to recognize it, i.e. his happiness, from his face.